little box jumps up, you have to click the word "Got it." That'll clear it out of the way. And then make sure you've got for today's class, all you really need is a chair. And we'll start, again, sitting at that front edge, hands resting on your legs, on your lap. Find your central pillar, your zhong, central upright. And then the breathing. Breathing, because it is such it's such an innate part of our experience, we overlook how powerful it can be to bring our consciousness, our mind, and just land it with the breath and just breathe in and breathe out. And do it again. In the nose and out the mouth. Just keep doing that. And close the eyes and pay attention to the subtle sensations of your nervous system, the heart rate, the state of your tissue and skin. Feel how after 5, 10, 15 breath cycles where your mind was present with the breath and the inhale is full and the exhale is empty, there's a shift occurring. There's a change happening. And the breath is interesting because it's the one aspect of our being that is hybrid, meaning it is both automatic, like our heartbeat is automatic. It's just doing it all by itself, right? But then other aspects are, I have to tell my arm to bend and straighten for the most part. That's volition. The breath is automatic, but also I can, with my mind, grab a hold of the breath gently and change it. And so the idea here is that you use the breath to influence all of the automatic systems, heart, nervous system state, which then influence the endocrine glands and the different chemistry going on within us. So this long, smooth breath in, long, smooth breath out is sort of indirectly influencing change at the layer of our being that is sort of out of our immediate control. And so inhaling long and smooth, exhaling long and smooth, and then doing it again, inhaling long and smooth. And just notice this helps your mind settle into this quality, this state of presence, which is very helpful, very nourishing. It's like reclaiming control rather than stress and triggers and distractions. So we're training this simple yet potent state of just inhale, exhale. We want to settle ourselves so that this is our default state. The default state, present, settled, relaxed, not elsewhere with our attention, but housed in our body. And then we just take that same practice another step further when we add our movements. Hands on your legs. Slide your hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back, chest up, chin up. Inhaling. And then with the exhale, hands forward, past the knees, hollow the chest, round the back, drop the head. And then inhaling, sliding hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back, chest up, chin up, look up. Exhaling, sliding forward, rounding, hollowing the front, dropping the head. Let's do this 3 more times. So think of this as a meditation as well. You're meditating, meaning being present with shoulder blades, spinal joints. And in order to move these body parts, our brain, through the nervous system, has to be present with this. So we're network connecting the brain and body. But keep this emphasis on soft, on relaxed. And then come back to this neutral, relaxed and centered. Left hand forward, right hand and elbow back, turn the shoulders, turn the head, twist. And then switch. Back through center, turn. Switch again. Again, using the brain through the nervous system to influence these movements, but we're going soft, relaxed, easy. Training ourselves to be in a state of rest while in action. And again. And then, as you finish, come back to the middle. That was the rotational plane. Hang the arms loose and just softly lean. As you lean to your right, lift your left wrist, float it up like a little marionette, left foot empty, and then just change. So we just lose, kind of flirt with disaster just a little bit. Go to this edge of in the chair, but try to stay relaxed. Relax. Loose. So we're reclaiming this concept. They say in the Taoist Tao Te Ching book, which is like the sort of the you could say the Bible for Taoist thinking. Can you be like a baby? Can you return to that softness and looseness of a baby? Let's come back to the middle. Now we tend to hold a lot in our chest, shoulders, upper back, arms. We hold. So this movement of coming forward, up, back, down. The goal here is loosening up whatever's in there that's stuck. Shoulder blades are spreading apart, lifting, coming over top, squeezing, coming down, under. Over. Getting this freedom of movement. And again, if I take my arms out of the picture, you see how much movement really happens up in this chest shoulder area. Now reverse, back, up, forward, down. Back, up, forward, down. Couple more. Last one. And release. Bend your elbows. Elbows out and up. Down. Around in front, squeeze. Down, out, and up. Down, around, touch. One more. Again, we're just trying to create freedom of movement through all ranges. Elbows back, down, forward, up, forward, down, back, again, down, forward, up, forward, down, back, and again. Elbows out, cross, hug, open, switch, hug, open, one more, and down and release, loose. Now scoot a little bit back on your chair, load, push, reload, down, load, push, reload, down, load and push, down. One more each. Foot and ankle, straighten, point and flex. Then tilt the foot in, out, and circle, in, around, and out. Out, around, and in. And switch, other foot, point and flex. Tilt the foot a little in, out, in, out, in, and circle. And reverse circle. And down. Now once again, scoot to that front edge of your chair. Feet, step them a little wider than hip distance. Lift your toes up, turn on the heels, turn your toes in, knees in, close quad. And then lift the toes, turn on the heels, knees and toes out, open quad or groin area, quad. And then close, open, close, open, close, open. One more. Neutral. Feet hip distance. From the same quad, fold. Sit vertical. From this same quad, back. Sit vertical. Fold. Upright. Back. One more. Back. And vertical. Now arms hang, float them up, and then drop and swing back and up. So try to do this in such a way that you feel like you're letting go of deep clench in the shoulders, that everybody does this. But what you'll find as you practice more and more is that you do not need to hold your arm on. It operates much better when you relax it, when you just let it hang. Now let them come to stillness. And then right arm forward, left arm back. And then swing, swing. So let this one cause a little bit of a turn at what they call the waist, lumbar and belly button level. So just this light little turn, turn, And then let them just settle, 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 settle. Now your feet, most of your weight is supported by the chair. So your feet, you can do this little fast feet. So lift one and then put it down, lift the other. Fast feet, tap, 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 tap. And then stop. Slide your feet back a little so that you have an acute angle here. Arms are loose from what we just did. Hip hinge right at this hip crease. Full. Now notice where my arms, shoulders, and head are in relationship to my ankle. They're in front. So once I achieve that, then I can just pour the weight out of the chair down to the earth and then push down and rise, 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 nice and tall all the way up. Now, when we stand up, tendency is to grab onto the body because now we're afraid. But just notice that for a second. While you're standing, tighten up your shoulders. Tighten them up. And notice how this uproots you versus now let go of your shoulders again. And feel how when you let go of any tension here, I don't know if you can feel it, but you could feel how it connects you down to the ground. Let's do it again. Just tighten your shoulders up. Tighten, and notice how it sort of disconnects you from being plugged into the earth. And then relax those shoulders and feel how there's this downward connection to the ground. One more time. Tighten up those shoulders. Kind of just get a little cautious and fearful here. And then drop it and let there be this washing all the way through descent. Now keep this loose quality as we sit back down in the chair. So hip hinge, the butt goes back, the arms and shoulders hang in front. Then we just fold the body, sink, lean back. And so now again, we've got empty feet. And then we we pour the weight out of the chair, down to the feet, and rise all the way up. And when you rise up, try to not tense up any part of the upper body. And fold and sink. Empty feet. And then just pour. So now your feet are not empty. They are the conduit by which you're connecting to the ground. Now we're vertical. Now don't sit in your chair. Keep your chair where it is. I'm just moving mine. You don't have to move your chair at all. But now, hip hinge. Sink, dangle down like you're trying to touch your ankles or touch your shins or touch the floor even, and then just push down and rise up. So there can be the same just loose, limber quality through the whole body, and you just fold it up. And push through the earth and rise. And make sure, watch me, make sure that there's a good amount of the butt sitting. So don't let it just become a fold like this. Make sure there's this. See how much I'm sitting the butt back and then rising. So this is a mechanism. It's the functional mechanism like a spring that the body operates well with. But the only way to do it right is to soften, to relax, to loosen all the parts, and then just let them all slide into this position. And then come back to the standing. And especially if you're newer to this practice, and really all of us, this puts demand on the areas that are stuck, that are tight. So a lot of times we have tightness here in the back, right? Low back, I believe it's the #1 pain area of everyone. Everyone's got it. And one of the things that people think of is, oh, I have to strengthen my back. I got to do all this weightlifting for my back. But really what a lot of the problem is everything's bunched up. Everything's held tight. Everything's stuck. And so this movement opens the back, opens what's called the Ming Men, the gate of life. So do it a couple more times and have this in your mind that you have this gate of life in your back that we need to not have be jammed stuck, but we got to open it. Open that Ming Man. And the butt sitting is what really helps that. Because if I'm just hanging this way, I'm not getting that certain open quality. And then back up. So that opening of gate of life, that little Tai Chi squat, is the last in a sequence of movements called Sink Chi Wash Organs. So we're going to do the rest of them. The first part of Sink Chi Wash Organs, this idea that we can tip into our toes a little. And a little bit into the heels, just a little. And then into the toe. Arms come a little forward. Arms swing back. So feel this idea that your arms are super loose, and yet you can still, with your mind, tell them to go forward. Notice forward is not up. Forward. And then back. So that same loose area that we were getting from our shoulder work and from that swinging, now we can control movement without having it be tension-based movement. So the idea that it's hydraulics, we're just washing the liquids forward, washing the liquids back. And why aren't we falling over, right? Well, if I tensed up right here, I'd be more likely to fall. But if I stay relaxed, I can lean quite a bit and still have my good connection to the earth. And same thing here, if I stay relaxed and just kind of tip a little bit to the heels, loose but down, right? That relaxation gets me a down connection. Tension pulls me up, relaxation connects me down. So I'm going to keep that down quality. Now, as you rock back to your heels, stay there open. Notice open happens here. Open. Lift, sort of levitate the limbs up. So just hold this position for a moment. We're a little bit in the heels, and we want to be pulled apart, pulled open. Wide open space here. And then tip to your toes and sweep the arms around and out in front. So now we're in our toes, and the hands are way out in front here. We got this Ming Men staying back here. And then bend the elbows, let the elbows sink, and this bringing in, sort of like a washing in as you rock to your heels. So letting that finish all the way back. And then settle to the middle of your feet, hands settle to the belly button. So notice this position. Now remember your Tai Chi squat that we just did, hollow. So notice what I did with my elbows here. Internal rotation. All right, so we're here, internally rotate, and I've hollowed the front. The back is open, right? So that shape is this prerequisite to then sink and let your arms go all the way straight and long as you sit. Let your arms dangle. And then just push through the earth. And if you let your arms be relaxed, they should come up right in what we'll call neutral, just hanging out here. And then we rock to the heels, open and lift. So we get that full opening. And then rock to the toes. Sweep around and way out in front. Get to the end of this position, right? We're in no rush to get to the next. We got to get to the end. Then rock to the heels, elbows bend, hands come in, all the way in. And then settle to the middle of the feet, the hands settle to the belly. And then remember the hollowing. So it's elbows a little forward, chest and torso hollowing back open. And then we're sinking. Opening that Ming Men, that gate of life in the back. And then standing. And again, rock to the heels, open and lift. Rock to the toes, sweep around, reaching forward. Rock to the heels, elbows sinking, hands coming in. And then settle to the middle of the feet, hands settle to the belly. And then hollowing and Tai Chi squat. Push to the earth and rise. And rock back and open and lift. And eventually this movement becomes this endless river. So it's just flowing one to the next. So once we learn the outer body choreography and sequencing, over time it starts to be driven rather than by us doing it, but more by how the energy of the body wants to move through. So this is promoting full flow. And they talk about something called the 5 bows, like an archer's bow. The 2 legs, 2 arms, and the back or the spine. So each of the bows is getting their experience, right? So we got to wrap all the way around. Now this is the folding of the arm bow. And then the leg bow, leg bows and the back bow. Get there. One more time. We're getting the rotation, external rotation. And we're getting internal rotation. Stand. Shogun, wing, roll, fold over top, settle. Middle embrace, hands face in through the belly, elbows loose, shoulders loose, whole body just loose, spacious. And then cross and down. Now, our 13 energy Tai Chi that we've been working on. So, same rocking forward and back drives this opening part. So, rock to your toes, hands go a little forward. Rock to your heels, hands swing back. Now, pung or rising. Rock forward and rise. Now, from here, rock back, slide back. Settle just a little bit down. Now, from here, rock forward again and drive forward, forward, forward. That's called G or forward direction. Turn your palms to face each other. They stay far away. So I'm still in my toes. Hands go down. But then as they come under, rock to the heels a little bit. Come up the back to the armpit. Right? So this path right here. Here. Then wrists are relaxed. Rock forward. Push forward. Then flatten palms a little and sweep down and back. That's called Lu. And then we do pung again. Pung. We slide back and settle again. And then we do on, where we're at the middle of our feet and down. Then we do that Tai Chi squat. Soften the hands, hips hinge back, sink, and rise. We do it again. Rock a little forward, rock a little back. Pung or rising. Rock back, slide back and settle, and then go forward. G. Turn your palms to face, stay far away as you come down, 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 and then rock back. And then ride up the back, over top, out. And then Lu. Flat palms, rock back, sweep down and back. And then pung. Slide back and settle. So we're kind of in our heels here, and then settle to the middle of the feet, middle of the body, and notice the hands are right along the side here for this. On, or the downward direction, all the way down. And then soft hands, hips hinge back, and we allow that way through. And then rise back to standing. So we're going to repeat that again. Rock, swing forward. Rock back, swing back. Pung or rising. Rock back, slide back, settle just a little bit, and then forward, straight out. Palms face each other. They stay far away, come under, up the back. Eventually we get this flow there. It's a very satisfying flow. And then pung, slide back, and then be at the middle of your feet on, sinking. And then sung, meaning soft, supple, pliable, totally release everything. And rise. Rock. Rock. Pump. Slide back. Settle. Forward. Palms face each other. Down, under, up the back, over the top. And loo. Behind, right? So a lot of times people get stuck. Finish. And then hum. Slide back. And down. And through. Let it go through. One more. Rock. Rock. Hum. Slide back and settle. G or forward. Loose, relax, under, up, over. So there's just this hallmark aspect of, especially the Hunyuan Tai Chi and Qigong, which is this flooding, flowing. I'm leaning back and then settling and loosening. So we're trying to reclaim this, the ocean, the water, the fluid nature. And what I've noticed, especially with Parkinson's, is that when you're operating with your fluid matrix, your hydraulic system, folks with Parkinson's symptoms kicking in can do a whole lot more. It's sort of like you have to drop all that chaos and then find this other system. And so then we're practicing that system so that you'll be able to do more and more and feel more accustomed to that system. That system is our natural system, this fluid, loose, limber quality. It is our natural state. It's just that we're not in it enough. So we got to train that, but eventually it feels more natural. So now, here we are. Change the weight to your right leg. From your middle pivot, turn a little bit to the right, and then sort of like elastic being pulled, extend the fingers down and away. So we're storing up over here, and then release that and just come back to the middle. So I want you to differentiate between just standing and then storing. So we're loading up, the weight's going down through this leg, you're turning a little bit, you're softening long and feeling how that creates an elasticity, a dynamic tension, and then just relax. Back to the middle. Storing, turning, sort of like a wind-up toy, and then relax. Storing. Now, turn this right foot out. Remember, pung is rising, but we're going to shift and turn so the backs of the hands lead up and across to this corner here. And then just drop your arms. So, Lana, let me be your mirror, okay? So as we store on, this is my right, but do store on your left, okay? So go ahead and store. So we're going up and across. So I want you to get up to this corner here, and then just let the arms fall down your right side, come across. So notice here, we're in that sort of zero relaxed quality, and then we store. So the weight's going through this leg, the elasticity here, and then from this stored position, we go pung. We rise and come across. So it has that feeling like a wave rolling, and then release down, come under. And another important piece to this is with pung, it's the back of the hand. So we're all stored up. When you rise up, look at the backs of my hands. Notice how they are leading. It's like I'm going to smack something with the back of the hands. So get the back of the hands leading, 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 leading. And then they just roll and release down. And we store, 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 store. And then pung, rise, roll up and over top. Getting to this upper corner. And release down. Now, the complementary movement to the pung in this form is lu. So we go under, up to this corner. So Lana, you've gone to the wrong corner again. There you go. So you're up at this corner here. Turn your right palm up, left palm facing down, and you can see there's this relationship between the palms, right? Now, across at a downward diagonal, so they end up down here at this bottom corner. And then this is us releasing. This is us getting ready or storing or preparing to then do what's called issuing. Issue the movement. So the Tai Chi forms are full of that little three-part setup. Release what you just did. Prepare for what you're about to do, known as storing. Right palm up, left palm down, and then issuing or doing the thing. And then release. And then store. And issue. Okay, one more time, and notice again, we're changing weight into this leg, to your right leg as you come all the way up. And so there's a potential difference here. We're full over here, so then we've got somewhere to go. We can go down through that leg, we can turn and come all the way to this side. Now, change sides and store, store, store for pung. So this is our preparing for that first move. Turn your left foot just a little bit out. Now it's rising. Pung, remember, back of hands. Leading, 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 over, 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 over. Let it finish, and then let it just fall down. This is us letting go of what we were just doing. This is us storing for what we're about to do. And this is do the thing. Pung. Over the top. And then this is releasing what we were just doing. Storing up for what we're gonna do. And then doing what we're doing. Pung, 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 pung. Rising, rising, rising. And then releasing. And then storing. And then punging. So at first, you're sort of imposing the movement on the body. But as you practice Tai Chi more and more, what you start to feel is you let that energy of pung move you. So you're now expressing the pungness or the risingness or the rising manifestation. You're just going, okay, I'm all stored up, and then I'm just being relaxed so that I get to experience this part of the ocean, how it rises. And then down. And then let's do the complementary movement or expression called lu. So first we got to release. Then we got to store. You want your weight in your left leg, Hands are reaching up to this corner, left palm facing up, right palm facing down. And then we're changing weight to the right leg, turning, and doing Lu, sliding down and away. And then we release, we store or prepare, and then issue. Lu. And then we song, meaning drop everything. Then we store up and issue. One more. Leisurely. Tai Chi and Qigong is like resting. It's like resting. It's resting in action. Now, we're going to do a little two-part combo. Change your weight and store on your left side. Store on your left side, Lana. On your left side. Put your weight over there. Turn that way. Yeah. Now, pung, or back of hands, right? Rising. So we're going all the way, all the way, all the way up. Now here, a little more subtly, release and store for Lu. Guiding down and back. Now change sides. We go releasing, storing, storing, storing. Lana, other side, and then pung, rise, rolling up and over and over and over and over. And so it reaches its end, and then left palm face up, right palm face down, and we go Lu, down at a diagonal all the way. Let it finish, let it finish. It should end up over here. And then change, store, pung, rise, over top, get to the corner, yeah? And then release and store for Lu, Lu. And release and change, store, 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 and pung. So this moves at a diagonal to this corner. And then prepare for Lu. And one more each way. Change, casual. And then it's and let it roll over and store, and then release everything, change, storing, and punging. Release, store, change. Now, stay on this side for a moment. Remember that the first storing we did was this. Now we do a different store. Ball, right? So take your left hand, top of a ball, right hand, front of a ball. So if you saw it from the side, it looks like this. We're leading through these fingertips. So as this G, remember G, remember that. So as we G, this stays in front. It's kind of right out in front of it. And then return. So keep that relationship as we have the right foot pointed out a little bit, and it's G. So the weight goes a little bit into that right leg, G. Let it get all the way to the end. So see how much elasticity you can create without losing your ground. So you have to stay soft and grounded and yet get full extension, and then retract. Store, 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 store. And then G all the way. And then back. Do that twice more. Just G. Now, at this last one, you finish G, float up. So this float up is letting go of what we were doing. Now we have to store. Bring the hands back right next to your collarbone. Elbows are out, and we're up at the top here, and then on, sinking, down, and then releasing, and then rising. So now we're all stored up to issue, sink. And notice how it's not just my hands. There's something happening in the legs. There's something happening in the hips. Something happening through all the tissue of the torso. Sinking, 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 sinking. At the bottom, we release. We just kind of sink that little extra bit to drop everything out. And then rise. And notice my feet too. So I'm not standing like this at the moment. There's that little bit of the turnout because we were doing G, and we come back and we're still in this relationship on, sung. One more time. On or down, sung. Now, store for G. So there's like a little shift turn, right? Just this little shift turn, and the hands make that ball. Left hand on top, fingertips pointing that way. Right hand in front, G. All the way, all the way, all the way, all the way. Now let it release and it floats up, and you sort of shift, right? You see that little shift back that accompanies bringing the hands here. And then release. You let it completely release. And then you shift, turn, and make that ball again, gathering it up, right? Everything's gathered, and then G, all the way out, floats up, and there's that little rolling back quality, and down through the body. This whole liquid body, and release. Everything loose. Store, issue, release. Store, issue, release. Now we're going to do that on the other side. So this foot that's turned out has to go parallel. Change the weight over here, store, make your little ball, and turn this foot out a little bit. Remember, it's top, front. G, extend, extend, extend. Let's do just a couple of those in a row. G, back. Issue, return. Right? And we notice it's everything. It's including the whole body. That's what you want over time, is we're never losing our footing or our groundedness, but we're also not holding ourselves still, afraid to allow change. So there's this pliability that Tai Chi helps us with, where we're changing and moving, kind of washing through movement, and yet totally stable and grounded. Now, float, there's that little bit of a shift back, hands come right next to the collarbones, and then on, sink, release. Rise up again, let's just repeat. On, issuing on, release, store, release, store, issue. Release, now store for G, so a little shift, turn, make a ball. Issue, G, 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 forward, 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 all the way, and then release, store, issue. Release, store. Other side, Lana, other side. I'm not sure if you're seeing, if the camera's up backwards or right side up or something, but yeah, just if I'm on my side over here, you be on your side over there. And then, and you're muted, by the way, so I can't hear you. You have to unmute.
I I don't know how to change it to put you. I have two versions of you, and they're the opposite.
Sorry.
You know, it's
Um,
technology. We'll just have to figure it out.
yeah, loose.
Is your posterior sitting back, or is
A little bit, right? There's this, there's a
okay?
little bit of that, but it's not that, right? So it's this, the word, the technical word in Tai Chi is ish.
Your ish.
Like your rear is back ish. You extend all the way to the end ish, right? So everything exists in the sort of ish world, right? So anyway, I'm going to remute so that,
Thank you.
yeah. Okay, so again, we have this issue put forward expression, and then float, and then this storing gesture. So this is preparing to then go issue down, 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 down. And then if we tried to go right from here, we'd sort of carry with us some stuck quality. That's why we have to drop. We have to have that added little drop. And it's the one people miss a lot because they forget to drop whatever they're carrying. Ball, issue, float, return, sink, release. Now, facing forward, wing, roll, fold, pause for a moment. Let everything be relaxed. And then hands cross and down. Now, there's 13 energies, 8 of which are upper body movements or choreographies, 5 of which are steps or movements down in the legs. So let's do the legs now. So change your weight to your left leg. Turn your right foot out, 5 degrees, 10 degrees, whatever's comfortable. So now change your weight into and turn the body. So turning to your right, that is one of the energies, and turning and sort of stepping that way. Now take your empty left foot and put it right out in front of you, toes pointing straight ahead. So step forward and just lean into that leg. So that's forward, then retreating back, and then we turn this foot out, right, as much as you can, and turn. Now this foot here, empty, steps forward. So we've got this forward quality. We got this backward retreating quality. And then we got this turning quality. So that's where you gotta turn the foot out and go, 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 and step forward. So that's 4, right? But what's the 5th? The 5th is the middle. And the middle is what we have to find every time. So we go back, but we find the middle, because otherwise we're going to fall over. And then we turn, but we don't just keep turning and fall over, we find the middle. And then we step forward and shift forward, but find the middle, which balances everything. Back, but have the middle. Eventually, you never lose the middle. The middle's where everything's being operated from. So this casual forward, backward, turning goes with the movements we just practiced. So step your right foot forward, have this stored position. Again, I'll turn sideways so you can see. Storing, I'm reaching down and back and preparing to then, as you go forward, pump. Forward, 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 forward. Then turn your right palm up, left palm down. And then with the retreating energy, your back energy, do the loop. And then we're going to change sides and do that again. So it's this change is where we're letting go of everything. Turning, 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 and storing as you step your left foot forward. Everything's ready now to issue pung, which is rising and moving forward, gets to the end, And then it's this loo, or this sliding down and back with that shift back. Left foot, your left foot is empty now. So then you turn it out and turn. Everything should be out of your body. So if your arms are holding anything, you forgot to really let them go. And then you can store as you step your right foot forward, and then pung, rising and forward. Turn the right palm up, left palm down, and then it's into your back leg and move back and down. And then turning everything loose. Turning all the way to the other side, step forward and pump. Let it finish, store, and issue. Loop. Let it finish, release, store, and pump. And turn that palm up, left palm down, loop. Into your back leg, all the way back, so that you can then turn. Pump. Turn that left palm up, right palm down, loop. Make sure you go back. So it's not just the arms coming down, right? It's the whole energy of the body. And then again, it's the whole energy of the body. Turn and then step forward. And then the whole body. And then the whole body. Very nice. And then the whole body. Now make the ball. So as you're on this leg, this foot empty in front, make your ball. So here's this. Now it's G. That's the forward. This is that retreating back. Sum. Change sides. Make the ball. G. Make that ball. And G forward. Let it finish and rise. Back. Down. Release. Change sides. Make the ball. Forward. Back. Down. Change sides. And Karen, watch one time here. When we do this in this particular way, we're no longer going to the sides of the room. We're going forward and backwards. So when you make your ball, your G should not go over here. It should go forward towards the camera, towards the screen, right? And then when this comes back, it's coming away from the screen, down. Sum, relaxed. Change sides, turn, make the ball. So again, this is going to go towards the screen or towards the front of your room. Forward, right? And then it comes up and back. Down. Relax. Now let's finish by putting all four of those together. Store and pump, rise and forward, right? So it's ending up in front of me, loo, back. And then change. Make the ball, we do G, and then up, back, on. Release. Then we store and do pung on this side. Store, pung, rising. Let it finish, 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 and turn into loo, back. Let it finish. So your right foot should be empty at this point, so that you just change. Make that ball step your left foot forward and G, forward, 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 forward. Let it finish, let it rise. Sliding up over the top, prepping or storing to then go on, down, down, down. And then we make sure to release. Store, hum. That's this rising expression. Lu is this sliding back expression. Change. Everything empty out of the body. And then you store to issue G, forward, 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 forward. Releasing it, rises. Come back, prep, and on. One more each side. So we sum, relax. We store and pung while moving energy forward. Turn right palm up, left palm down. Lu happens with this backward quality. So now your front foot, your right foot should be empty so it can turn out and we can just go right around our middle pivot. Step that left foot forward and we've made the ball for G. Forward, 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 forward. You let it rise. Come back. And sink. And then remember to sum. Release. Then store one more round. Pung. The wave rising. And then the wave receding. Change. Storing up. Wave driving forward. And then the trough quality of sinking, how water sinks naturally. And then stand. Rock to your heels, open and lift. Rock to your toes, sweep around. Rock to your heels, bringing in as if bringing something in the gate of the mouth. Down the swallow channel, central channel to the belly. Then this hollowing, elbows, hips, to then release down. And stand all the way up. We do that twice more. Back. Open and lift, and then just one of the best aspects of Tai Chi in general, but especially this system that I'm now fully training in, is just this feeling of the ocean of just washing. That when we let go of the layers of extra activity, extra effort, extra tension, we don't just fall into a puddle. What we do is we find, oh, there's a whole power system waiting to be trained. This loose, relaxed, very stable, yet totally and completely free and limber and loose, and yet very powerful system. And most of us are caught somewhere on that spectrum of too tight or too loose, right? Too sloppy with our movement or too rigid with our movement. And so it's this blending of those concepts into a state that includes both, but is separate from that. This active yet totally restful. So there's that saying, Tai Chi and Qigong is like resting. It doesn't mean it's lazy and you don't do anything. In fact, in the state of rest, you have all of this capacity, but you have to train it through the quality of rest. Soft, loose, released. Right? We have to almost hypnotize ourselves to change how we're always doing things this one way, find this other route. Closing the practice, wing, roll fold. the chi nap. This represents the mind, all that life force and energy going into a napping state, resting state. And then seal the practice. And so again, most of you look a little bit like this. So notice the difference between this and this. It's a positional change, but more importantly, it's the quality. So it's soft, but not drooped. So there's awareness placing everything just so, but it's not active. So find that quality here. And then let's seal the practice. You got your belly button. Place one hand right over top, other hand over top. 5 breaths doing nothing at all, just totally nourished. Again, like sleeping, like resting. And the high ideal of the Taoist practices is Wu Wei, doing nothing while accomplishing everything. So it's this state that we're talking about of, if I'm totally at ease and rested, does that mean I just lay around all day? Or does that mean that I'm so present and efficient that I accomplish everything appropriately? That's the idea, especially when we practice it in action like we do with Tai Chi. Okay, thank you everybody. Have a marvelous